Okay, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use SQL Server Express in C# program. This tutorial will have 3 parts. First, I'm going to show you how to create a local SQL database in Visual Studio. And then I'm going to show you how to insert data into the database. And finally, I'm going to show you how to read data out of the database. Okay, so first, I'm going to create a new project. I start a new project. Windows, let's call it DB demo. Okay, and click OK. In the sub meeting, I showed you how to use C# program to connect to an Access database. This is another alternative approach. So in this case, we will use the SQL Server Express embedded in the Visual Studio 2015. If you are using the Visual Studio, the SQL Server Express is already downloaded. It's integrated with the Visual Studio, so you don't need to worry about downloading it again. Okay, now we have this project created, and to connect to the database, first we need to have a database, and we will create a local database. The procedure is like this. I right-click on the project name and choose Add and a new item. Okay, just the same sequence like we add any new Windows form. But in this case, we want to go to the data group and choose service-based database. And you can see the default name for my database is database1 MDF. We can change this to a test. Okay, this is our test database. So I just called it test. Then I will click Add. So the database will be created. It's a little bit slow, and the name will appear in the Server Solution Explorer. Now you can see test.mdf is here. And now what I'm going to do is to open this local database. I double click this name, and you can see on the left side, there's a Server Explorer. And here, re-enter your credential. You don't need to worry about this. This is for a different thing. And for the data connection, you can see the test.mdf. There's a little triangle. It's green. It's a little like an adapter, actually. So that means the connection is good. So the connection between your C# program and the local database. And there are a bunch of folders under test.mdf. And in this example, we are going to create tables for this database. Okay, so now this tables folder is empty. Okay, so we will right click on the tables and choose Add New Table. Let's see how to add one new table first. Okay. So the design surface is loading, and here on the bottom you can see the SQL language. On the top, this interface is more similar to the Access software. The first one is an ID, is the primary key. So this little key is shown to the left. And we don't, for example, for this one, I want to create a student table, okay? So I want to use sName as the primary key. SName, the data type will be, I want to use varchar, okay? Varchar. Varchar 50. because this is a it's a variable length of character string. So the maximum length is 50, but the actual size depends on how many space you will use. If you use only 2 characters, it only takes 2 characters in the memory space. So it's a more efficient data type. Then I will have as name. Let's see, as name. Then we can have a gender. Okay, the gender can be a integer. Okay, because we can use 0 to represent male and 1 represent female. It all depends on how you code the different genders. Integer, let's see, int. Okay, integer. And then we can have age. It will be another integer. Okay, and we can also have a major. It will be a, don't use unchar, because unchar has a fixed 10 characters for this variable. Even you have only 2 characters or 3 characters, you have 7 or 8 spaces after that, so it will create a lot of trouble when you do the programming. And I will still use varchar 50. Okay, that's a lot of information. For this demonstration is good enough. Okay, and after you do, while you are creating these columns, you can see at the bottom the SQL command is also expanding, so it automatically generates the SQL code for you, so you don't have to manually write this. And after this, the very important thing is to click on this update button, okay, at the upper left corner. Okay, very, very important. And you see the default name for this table is table. We don't want to call it just a table, we want to give it a meaningful name. So if you want to change the name of the table, you need to do it here. Okay, delete this table inside the bracket and give it a name. For example, students. Okay, students. Now you click update. This window will pop up, and there are 3 buttons. You want to choose this update database. So the local database will be updated by creating a new table. Okay, now I think our table is already there. Now let's come to this side and refresh. You can see students table is under the tables folder. Now we create the 1 table. Okay, and we can create another table. Add new table. This time we want to create a table called let's see, course maybe. Okay, course ID, course number, let's say course number integer, that's fine, primary key. And the C name, that's the course name. You can call it C number, it's easier. C number, C name. C name can be a verb, C name. And then the type is varchar 50. And we can have a level. It can be another varchar 50. This is undergraduate level or graduate level. Okay. And also you can have another one called instructor. Okay, who's teaching this course. Actually, in terms of database design, now we assume this course is taught by only 1 instructor, but in the real world, there will be many-to-many relationship between course and the instructor. So, just, as an example, I'm just assuming this is a very simple world. Okay, this is It can be an integer, okay, to use the instructor ID to represent an instructor. Okay. Now, similarly, we want to change the table name. If you look at the bottom part of this, so the default name is still table. Okay. We want to change this to courses, and click update. Same thing happened, and you select update database. Okay, now another table is created. If you now it doesn't show, you have to right click and refresh. Now 2 tables will appear on your Server Explorer. Okay, this is how you create a database in Visual Studio. Okay, this is very important. This is the foundation for your project. You have to be able to create a database and to add tables into the database before you can do anything else. Okay, and now let's just create this design view of the tables. Now we have these tables. You can also expand it to see all the columns in the table. Okay, for example, you want to enter some values into the table just manually, not from the program you develop. Okay, and you can see show table data. Now here you can add something. Okay, this is a course. For example, this course 3673. This is your course. The name is C# programming. For example, C# programming, and the level is 1. And the instructor is me. Okay, so now you create one record in the table. Okay, you save it and you close it. It's there. Invalid value row 1. Let's see. Invalid value for cell row 1 column 4. Okay, this one. Oh, because we used the instructor ID instead of name, so I cannot enter strings here. For example, my number is 007. Okay, and now you can save it, close it. If you reopen it, the data will be kept. Now let's show the table data again. You see the information is still here. Okay, this is how you create a record in the local database. This is you need to know how to do this, because at the beginning you want to be able to manually enter some data and be able to test your program when you work with the database. Okay, so that's it for how to create a local database in Visual Studio, and we will talk about how to insert data into this database from your C# program, and that will be the topic of the next tutorial.